Welcome to the Big Dawg Crypto Podcast. This is your number one crypto podcast to hear directly from the movers and shakers, innovators, and disruptors in the cryptocurrency industry. Follow on Twitter for updates and to communicate directly at Woof Big Dawg. That's at Woof Big DAWG. Now, here is your host, the one and only Big Dawg Crypto.
And welcome to the latest episode of the Big Dawg Crypto Podcast. I am your host, Big Dawg Crypto. On this episode, Amith, one of my favorite accounts on Twitter, well now X, InternetDoIlar. How are you doing?
Good. Doing absolutely amazing.
Like to hear that. So I'm glad we got a chance to catch up. I wanted to talk to you, if you could, tell the audience a little bit kind of about your background and how you got into crypto. Like, how did all this happen?
Well, my background is in finance. That's where I went to school in your city, actually, New Orleans. Graduated from AP Consumer Business at Tulane. And that was like 3 lives ago. Okay. Yeah. I'm 45 now. And I worked for American Express as a private banker. Where basically I was selling investment products to rich people, high net worth individuals in like Latin American countries, primarily who wanted to invest in dollars, but also didn't want to pay their home state, their country's tax, right?
Right.
So we had no problem sending our guys down, bringing that money back home. And then there was like, loopholes to evade the tax, maybe not so much loopholes. The only hard and fast rule basically in the banks was just don't bring cash. Like don't fly with cash home. Okay. So I was a banker. Then in 2008, after the banking crisis, I left and I started doing technology stuff. I started watching iPhone apps. I had an application that hit number 1 in the education. It was like, whatever. And I moved to India and I was doing some digital marketing for American Express. And I wanted to get high. Wanted to get some pot. So I asked a buddy, I'm like, yo, what do I buy for pot? Like, he's going to go to the Bitcoin meetup. And this was in like 2012, October 2012, went to the Bitcoin meetup. Obviously I found the pot, but then I had like my interaction with Bitcoin and, the people at the meeting were cool. So there's almost a community, felt like. Obviously, I don't think if it was like a boring presentation when I've, been interested to keep learning about Bitcoin. And then I would say like very quickly the light bulb went off maybe a week or 2 weeks after being introduced to Bitcoin of realizing how big it is. And then I started saying, and it's still true to this day, like there was the fire, there was the wheel and blockchain, right? But like, honestly, I think it's like fire blockchain wheel.
Right.
At this point,
Right.
So then, once we really know exactly what's happening to humanity and what the blockchain does and what Bitcoin does, you can start letting go of your anchor and just thinking about it as a money thing. Yeah, it is a fucking money thing. There's only 21 million of these things. They're not ever going to be more than 21 million.
More. Right.
You want to have a seat at the table and be like, your family and your families and your descendants want to be a seat at the table and have one big, right? Because that's where it's going. Like, but basically, you can let go of the whole money part and that part, and you can start thinking, okay, this blockchain shit, what's it doing?
Right.
It's going to, in my opinion, help humans get along with each other better.
Right.
Like we
looking at the big picture though,
without friction, people can have a different opinion, but they can still coexist. Right. Like right now, we're passing a lot of our frequencies through central authorities. So it's pain points for everybody. We're listening to everybody. People are telling you what the narrative is.
Let me, if I could ask you something on that, because you're talking basically, you've been in over 10 years. So you're like, to me, like anybody over 10 years, that's the OGs of OGs. Like you're here in the beginning. But you're talking about the big picture of everything. But I'd ask you this: how do you feel when you look at the ETFs now that institutions are coming in something that was basically to make freedom for everybody? How do you tie what you just said with the institutional involvement now?
Well, let's go back first. Like I've been doing it, working for Bitcoin full time since October of 2012. It's 2024. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So 100%. Yeah, I've been doing a lot in this space, and not just Bitcoin. I mean, we're talking about Bitcoin because it's the most important coin, but clearly once DeFi started, I was fucking around in DeFi, right? And NFT and things like that. But okay, back to my point. OGs, yeah. The last Bitcoin is going to be minted around like 2,141.
Right.
So this is only 20 years into the journey, right?
Yeah.
So I would say for another 15 to 20 years, people will, like the first 30-year people, I think be considered OGs in the future.
Yeah. Well, true. You're looking at the grand scheme of it, but are you? Well, let me ask you this: Are you so because you have a finance background and you know how that works? But you've talked about what Bitcoin means for humanity. How do you feel? And I'm always interested in that people that have both kind of views on that. How do you feel about the ETFs, the hedge funds, all that kind of stuff? Like, are you happy they're involved with it, or is it a necessary evil, or it's just the natural process as things go?
Who cares? I mean, yes, they're actually, you know what? My opinion is they're good for it. Okay, the more institutions that buy it, the more people that buy it. Like if someone can like log into Charles Schwab and buy it, fine. Like all they're going to be doing is paying the fucking fees,
True.
And they'll take institution risk, and but for somebody who's worth, let's say, like $20 million, does he really want to spend the time to learn to be able to hold $5 million worth of Bitcoin himself? And is that going to be insured, and can it be passed on to his beneficiaries? So there's a role for these people, 100%, because a lot of crypto people
need those people for those people, kind of thing.
Yeah, like look, that's how the world works. People want to feel safe, so 100%, it's very good for Bitcoin. People pay fees, and it's good for people who own Bitcoin.
Yeah, and it also I feel like it levels the playing field too, because once you get all the other people in and the big money people, and even somebody like you said, 20 million, and they put X amount into it, and it might be a smaller amount, but somebody sitting on the corner in Kenya somewhere could still own it too, and it levels the playing field to an extent that I think we've never had in this world.
The price of Bitcoin has only gone up in my experience of Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Yeah.
So everybody has to put like a little bit of dollars into Bitcoin every week.
Right. I agree with you on that. So looking at decentralized finance,
$57,000 right now. Like, yeah, $57,000 right now. Like, next price target for me is 1 million Bitcoin, right? So that may happen. That may happen in 10 years. We may hit 1 million Bitcoin in 10 years, right? That's a really good return.
Let me ask if I could, because one question I ask every single podcast guest, always interested, is what do you think at the height of the bull run, the alt season, whatever you want to call it? I know after the halving, it tends to do it, whether it's at the year after or whatnot. Would you want to give a price prediction? Because I'm always interested to see how close in the future someone got it right or wrong. And look, I've told people before, take my price prediction, put it on $5, get a cup of coffee, right? I'm not saying, it's 100%, but this is what I think. What do you think this fall? And then do you think it's going to hit an all-time high next fall or next year?
This fall is what, September?
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm asking you basically, could you give me a ballpark prediction by, let's say, end of this year and then the end of next year?
End of this year, it'll be anywhere from 20,000 to 150,000. It'll fall within that range.
Wait, 20? You think 20 in the low? And I asked your opinion, but okay. Wow.
Okay. And then at the end of the year after that, it'll be anywhere from 20,000 to 150,000.
Interesting. Okay, that's pretty consistent. Okay, so and essentially that 150 range is kind of what I'm thinking. Like that kind of, so it's going to be a million by next year. I don't see that happening. I don't think it's going to, drop down drastically. But we don't know. The markets, there's so much going on in the world. I mean, you got all the stuff right now going on in the world. Look at X. Obviously, X has been such a town hall for the whole for the whole world, but specifically to crypto and crypto Twitter, crypto X, whatever you call it now. Look at Elon Musk, who has gotten up there and shown support.
Can it shoot up from 57,000 to 300,000 in the course of 6 months? Can it shoot up from 57,000 to like 400,000, 500,000 by the end of the year? 110%. Then starting next year, can it go from 500 to 650? Yes, it can. Can it crash from 650 at the end of next year down to 150? Yes, it can.
It can, yeah. I'm just that's just the fact. I mean, it's a fact that it's a possibility, right? I mean, I think the only thing that I hesitate when somebody goes, I can guarantee you that it's not going to do is you can't guarantee other than the fact that the network is as strong and stable as it is, right? Anybody that says, I guarantee something's going to happen, right? In this space, I've learned we can't guarantee anything, right? We're making our opinions based on our experiences, and you have 10 plus in this space, so you know it. MetaMask. Well, speaking of MetaMask, just rolled out a debit card this week. Are you in support of that?
Yeah, I think it's great. I'll probably get one and use it, and I use that Coinbase card.
Right.
Nope.
Well, let's talk about. So you're not a Bitcoin maximalist.
I had one of the original Zappo debit card.
Oh, wow. Well, that's going back a ways. Well,
so
let me ask you that. I'm taking you're not a Bitcoin maximalist. What are your thoughts on alts in general?
I am a Bitcoin maximalist.
Okay, I should assume. My bad. I mean, but are you? And I'm asking because I know you've got interest.
I mean, if Bitcoin maximalist means defined as I would only hold Bitcoin, no, that's not true.
Yeah, no. When I say that, and I say that like in the nicest ways, like I'm so happy to have people on the podcast. I've had people from all over the place.
On the money side.
Yeah,
30% of my portfolio is in Bitcoins. 70% of my portfolio is in Bitcoin, and it's been like that since I started fooling around with other coins.
Okay, so I guess, and that's cool. I guess that the thing is, though, I have certain people been on the podcast that say I'm only Bitcoin. I don't ever want to talk about altcoin. Right?
That's good. I respect those guys.
Yeah. Okay. So you kind of straddle the fence on that. Or you're pretty much both.
No, I'm 100% Bitcoin. Like in 20 years. Is it possible? No, I don't. There's going to be a need for other chains. Always. There's going to be a need for other chains. Those other chains are like they're like Mac OS, Windows, Linux, operating systems, Android, right?
Right.
Bitcoin's what's a good analogy? Bitcoin's the hardware, not the hardware.
It's I mean, it's
Bitcoin is the HTTPS to the fucking everything else.
Well, let me ask you this. So we talk about, people talk about Bitcoins, talk about altcoins, and you have meme coins. Okay, meme coins have been an interesting development. There's no doubt about that. What are your thoughts in general on meme coins?
The casino, 100%. You go to the casino, especially like I think for most people, the first meme coin was Dogecoin. Okay.
Right.
Dogecoin is older than Ethereum. Okay. Dogecoin is on Robinhood. You swipe left, swipe right.
Right.
If you were early into Dogecoin and you like held on to some of your bag, you're killing it. You're gonna keep supporting that ecosystem. You're not dumping your bags. You're whatever. You're there. You're older than Ethereum and you're there.
Right.
So. What was Dogecoin? It was nothing, man. It was like it was a Dogecoin.
2017, it was like 0.000, and then remember when had talked about it, people were like, what?
And now it's like it's their thing. But you see things like the top 100 wallets own like 80% of supply or something like that. Then you also have Elon messing with it, right? Okay, but it doesn't matter. It's a meme coin that went to multi billions. So yes, there will always be another meme coin. Right. How often we don't know, but they will. This is why you have to pay attention to memes, that they're not going away.
Right. So when you just brought up Musk has been interesting because, like I said, Eddie, like you said,
memes are like brands that are going to pop up for the rest of your fucking life. And if you get that early, you're going to make it. And then
Yeah.
The brand will last, but it's never going to pop. It may pop again.
Right.
But holding it, maybe you're going to stake it.
Yeah.
Maybe you're going to have some interest, whatever. It's not going to go down.
Well, what some people don't realize, and you probably do, but there's some people don't realize that there are companies now, international companies that hire meme designers, meme directors. That's a department now because, memes have taken over. Memes have made stuff in politics and races and in different political races, right? They've become big. I mean, they're everywhere. And Musk, of course, who has, he had the Doge for a while and talked about it, this and that. He really, when you look at everything, and what was the comment where it said the revolution will not be televised, it will be memonized?
100% true.
Yeah. So that was said. So I guess the thing is the role of memes in supporting causes. Could you just maybe shed a little bit of light about how you look at that as far as how communities basically and memes, how do those come together and when do they matter, right? I mean, for lack of a better thing,
I'm a fan of President Trump, okay?
Yeah.
So I always pay attention to all the MAGA tokens on launch, all the Trump coins on launch, all the Trump NFTs. So like that, he's not even behind any of them, but he is. Right. His sons are tweeting about doing something. So I'm definitely
Yeah.
And those are memes, right? Like he does shit on stupid like Polygon. He doesn't do things on Ethereum. Right. So like it's a meme and it's on Solana, and Solana, we don't know if it's going to be there 15 years from now. That's another, okay, here's the con. I love memes. You can spend, in this environment, you can spend $1,000 and possibly make, $10 million if you are, if you hold
the right one, sure.
If you get the right one and you hold them, or if you spent 20,000 and sold half your bag, but it doubled and you just held on to a moon bag, right?
Right.
Now, so they're here to fucking stay.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. And I think too, it's with the caveat. Look, people they like fun in life. They like to enjoy themselves. Yes, they like to make money too, obviously. But I think if somebody's in a meme and they're having some fun with it, right? You're not putting your life savings, you're not counting on it. But if you have a meme and you have a fun community, things can happen. And I think if you look at it that way, those are the people that are a lot less stressed, right? Somebody says, I have $100 on my name and I'm putting, don't do that. Like I would tell, never do that. That's foolish.
Yeah. Look,
but you might
I have no sympathy for anyone who puts money into a meme token that they needed or that they thought it would pop. They thought they had alpha. This caller called it. They were going to do a press release. They were going to look.
Because you can't guarantee anything, right? You never know, right? I tell somebody, don't put what you need into it. But if you want to get a steak dinner one night, you decide to save it and do it instead, then that's fine, right? You look at it as something fun that may or may not turn out.
And whatever your total meme budget is, always keep some money on the side so you can buy. Expect your meme to drop by 90%. And that's when you need to pick up more fucking tokens.
Well, look, I told somebody one time, I said, look, actually, I was up in Toronto for Futurist.
But don't do that if it's a rug, Big Dog, right? Like fucking sell at the first sign of a rug. Don't get attached to these fake admins.
No, but when you just said something, that I told the Uber driver the other day, I'm like, because he said, crypto, I don't know about it. I said, look, if you buy some crypto, and you can't sleep at night knowing that it might go up 100x or go to zero, don't buy it, right? Don't call yourself that stress. I've seen you talk about hashtag ANUS, power of Uranus, anus. What is going on with that? Because that is what is Musk has talked about something about going to Uranus at some point. Then you have Anus, the token. I have a lot of friends of mine on crypto Twitter, crypto X, whatever you call it now, talking about it. What is it?
Anus.
Yeah.
It's Anus stands for Uranus token.
Okay.
Launched beginning of this year in January. Exact date I think was January 30th or January 1st.
Okay.
That date is important to someone in the community.
Okay.
And it was, we think, rugged by the original developer.
Okay.
Okay. We think rugged by the original developer.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it was 40,000 market cap in March, on March 14th, I think, or March 4th.
Okay.
Some people who have been in Bitcoin for a long time and have worked on other protocols and have made partnerships amongst very big blockchains said, let's try to make a meme that ends all memes, right?
Sure.
Not put memes out of business, but really do something to
Unique.
make this, to make all other memes go through, like basically, out of the ass, like out of the anus is gonna come all the memes now, and it's going to make sense because it's going to be I don't want to say pegged to Bitcoin,
Right.
okay, but it's going to help a lot of people learn about something in Bitcoin that are called runes. And basically, my viewpoint is, and so are many others' viewpoint is, once people learn about runes and how to use them and operate with them, all memes will be coming on runes.
Right.
And because when there's more friction, you're going to make more money. So why would you not want your meme token to exist on the Bitcoin blockchain, right? Because look, we have Uranus token. It's great, but it's only as strong as Solana's blockchain,
Right.
So like I have Shiba, I love SHIB, I love it. It's, but it's only as strong as Ethereum's blockchain, So
If
my 30% shitcoin portfolio is like really,
Yeah. What's interesting though is that whatever the meme may be, community is what drives it. Being clever, being fun, that also, it matters more than anything in the space, right? There's no question about that. And this caught my attention because people are cash tagging it all over X and kind of having fun with it. But if you look at the most successful memes, communities are what drove them, right? There's nothing else that pushes it as hard as community. So, have you seen the community as they're kind of changing up a bit as far as getting a bit more active? Because I've been seeing that. Like I've noticed a lot more activity recently.
All communities have Jeets and what we call toilet paper hands. And when you are in Solana meme coins, you see the Jeet cycle play out very quickly. Like either it's organized crime or it's, just the nature of the business with pumped out fun and like off the shelf. Like the original our Uranus token contract is like an off the shelf contract. Anybody could go to the website, mint it,
Right.
So do we even have an original debt? We don't know. But so I've forgotten where I was going with that one.
Talking about the community, I'm saying like how much.
Okay, community cycle. The Jeets.
Yeah.
So the cycle plays out very quickly on a token that will just pump and then go down, right?
Right.
But in communities like SHIB and Doge, what did you have? Like I was in the SHIB Discord for a long time before the pump, right? But you always had people who believed in the mission, people who were helpful to other community members onboarding, and a lot of the people whose first crypto was this crypto too, because they were excited about welcoming, friendly, But you don't really know who the true people are until you go through some troubles. You got to have that initial pump. You got to have that initial dump.
Right.
We started getting our network in at 40K on Anus. It pumped to 30 million. Okay. Now we're sitting, I think last time I checked, it was like 1.5 million maybe. So the people who are in early at 40K are still sitting pretty, And why did we pump? Look, I was not the first one to buy this token for sure. It launched in January, right? So you can look at you can see when the buys start happening or whatever. There's no secrets. So you just have to think like, did people always say, oh, well, pumped to 30 and it went down to, who made $30 million? Like, no, nobody made that money because there was like $2,000 in liquidity at the time. Right.
Just because the market cap doesn't mean,
Correct. So the fear, the fraud, the FOMO, maybe the bad actors, but you got to shake out the toilet paper hands.
Right.
Project is dead, it's not dead. Dr. Sunarunu is not talking. So what are you left with? You're left with people who really love the token.
Right. That's community, and community drives everything. So
that's all it is. And community has to use tools too. You got to onboard people. You have to onboard people. Have in-person meetups.
Right.
You have Anus, like any meme token. When you have to pick up the fucking phone and do it analog.
Right.
That's how memes take off.
Yeah. Well, people could find it on X, right? They can go where do they find? They're going to X to find it. What's the X account again?
Look,
For it?
people should not fade Uranus token.
Okay.
The best place to find Uranus token is go to Dex Tools.
Okay.
Go to Dex Tools and type anus.
Right. And that's it. It's gonna come up. It'll be
That's
right
it.
there.
It'll come up.
I mean, there's 17 other Uranus
Yeah.
tokens.
Yeah.
So you gotta make sure that on Dex Tools you find the right anus.
Yeah.
We're
Now,
the
you
biggest
got-
anus.
You got the right. You don't want to go the wrong anus. You want the right anus, and
We're the right
pull it up.
anus. The anus list is very deep on Dex
Okay.
Tools.
Right.
Deep anus list. But
Right.
you just type anus and we jump into that anus.
And anus, to make sure they're in the right one, was launched. You said around what was the month? January.
January of this year.
Okay. Yeah. So when you look at the different anuses, the anus you're looking at is the one that's the anus from January of 2024, and make sure the liquidity that's trading is the right one. Confirm on X, and then you're in the correct anus. So, and, it's gonna be interesting to watch this. I always like to watch interesting projects. I like to watch the space. I like to watch what Bitcoin's gonna do, memes gonna do, this and that. Any final thoughts? Let me ask for you that you
Anus's contract address starts with 9H.
Okay, so not so make sure if you're going into anus, the right anus starts at 9H. Any final thoughts that you want to share with the crypto community in general? Just about anything.
Yeah, be safe. Okay.
Okay.
So what does that mean? That means actually restoring your MetaMask from your mobile and your Chrome, however you use it, going through the process of taking your computer and throwing it out the window. Okay. To your mobile phone and dropping it in the ocean. You should have no problem doing that.
Right.
And if you cannot
Right.
restore your money after going through that exercise, then you should not be in crypto. And that's it. I mean, if you don't do that, then
Solid point.
Don't
Yeah.
talk to me if you lose your device and you lost your crypto.
But you just gave very good advice. And people, where do they find you on X? Your account is so that they can find it. Let me just pull it up. InternetDoIlar.
InternetDoIlar. If you type it in search, it should show up.
Yeah.
But it's like at InternetDoIlar, but it's an A. It's an I.
Yeah,
LLAR. It's a
Yeah.
LI or IL.
It's kind of cool. I like that. That works. Okay. Well, look, I appreciate you being on. Thank you for being on the latest episode of the Big Dawg Crypto Podcast. Thanks.
Hey, thank you, Big Dawg.
You've been listening to the Big Dawg Crypto Podcast. Follow on Twitter at WoofBigDawg. Woof, Big DAWG. And run faster than the competition. Woof, woof.